What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Daniel Cormier believes that if he were still in his fighting prime, the current UFC light heavyweight division would be tailor-made for him. Speaking candidly during a question and answer session with students at Eddie Alvarez's Underground Kings Gym, the former two-division champion was asked which opponent he would want most if he could compete again at 205 pounds. Without hesitation, Cormier pointed to the reigning champion, Alex Pereira. According to Cormier, the landscape of the division today is completely different from what he faced during his own title run. He explained that wrestling used to be the great equalizer at light heavyweight, and in his view, that element is largely missing right now. Cormier said that in his prime, he would be feasting on the current roster because there are simply no dominant wrestlers standing in the way. He added that if he were choosing one fight, it would be Pereira, not just because of the stylistic matchup, but because champions want the biggest stars and the biggest paydays. Cormier made it clear that Pereira's striking prowess would not deter him, emphasizing again that the lack of elite wrestling threats would heavily favor his skill set. Cormier's confidence is backed by his history at 205 pounds. During his run, he captured the light heavyweight title and defeated everyone he faced in the division, except for Jon Jones. As champion, Cormier eventually moved up to heavyweight, where he faced Stipe Miocic at UFC 226 after coaching opposite him on The Ultimate Fighter. Cormier shocked many by knocking out Miocic and becoming a two-division champion. He never returned to light heavyweight after that win. Instead, he defended the heavyweight title against Derek Lewis before losing his final two bouts to Miocic and retiring from competition. Despite admitting that the weight cut to 205 pounds was always difficult, Cormier remains convinced that a prime version of himself would thrive in today's division. He compared eras, listing the elite wrestlers he once competed against, including Jon Jones, Ryan Bader, Phil Davis, and Rashad Evans, all accomplished collegiate standouts. By contrast, he believes the modern division lacks that same foundation. In his mind, that difference alone would make light heavyweight the clear choice, and a matchup with Alex Pereira the ultimate target. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Dominick Cruz is standing firm on his viral comments about the controversial stoppage at UFC 323, insisting that the co-main event could have continued and that the referee acted out of fear rather than necessity. The fight ended in shocking fashion when flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja suffered a freak arm injury, allowing Joshua Van to capture the title. Almost immediately after the bout, Cruz took to social media and questioned whether referee Herb Dean stopped the fight too quickly. He wrote that he wished the Van versus Pantoja fight had been allowed to continue and argued that it should ultimately be the fighter's choice. Cruz explained that athletes dedicate entire training camps for these moments and that dislocated arms are sometimes reset mid-fight, allowing competitors to push through and continue. The tweet sparked heavy backlash, with many fans pointing out that Pantoja appeared to acknowledge the injury right away and did not protest the stoppage. Despite the criticism, Cruz doubled down while speaking on his Love and War podcast. He admitted the tweet sounded extreme, but said his perspective comes from being a fighter himself. Cruz described seeing Pantoja shaking his head immediately after the stoppage and appearing to say he was all right. He clarified that he was not claiming Pantoja was actually fine, only that in the heat of the moment, it looked like the champion wanted to continue. Cruz emphasized that Pantoja could have simply been devastated that the fight ended so quickly after a brutal training camp. He then pointed to multiple examples from combat sports history where fighters continued despite serious injuries. Cruz recalled dislocating his own shoulder in practice and feeling the pain subside once it was put back in place. He referenced Brendan Loughnane breaking his ulna mid-fight and still going on to win, Raoni Barcelos resetting his shoulder during a bout and finishing strong, and Urijah Faber breaking both hands against Jens Pulver, yet still earning victory. According to Cruz, the key difference in Pantoja's case was that the referee visibly saw the injury and immediately stepped in. Cruz believes the decision was made before Pantoja had the chance to test his arm, reset it, or even attempt to continue. In his view, the referee made the choice for the fighter, assuming the arm was too compromised. Cruz said his main issue is that Pantoja was never given a moment to try. He suggested that if Van had begun landing unanswered shots while Pantoja protected his arm, then stopping the fight would make sense. Instead, Cruz feels the bout was called before that scenario could play out. He tied the situation back to his own history, including his infamous dispute with a referee after his loss to Henry Cejudo. Ultimately, Cruz placed the responsibility squarely on Dean, saying the fight ended because the referee was scared to death by what he saw, and that a potential moment of greatness was taken away. Moving on to another news. Shara Magomedov has made a surprising claim following his recent grappling bout with Arman, insisting that the widely discussed size and weight difference between them was completely exaggerated. Despite the obvious visual disparity, with Shara competing as a 185-pound middleweight and Arman fighting in the UFC lightweight division at 155 pounds, Shara believes the numbers tell a very different story. At the peak of their competitive careers, the two athletes operate in separate weight classes, which made the matchup intriguing from the start. Many fans assumed Arman was giving up a massive amount of size, especially given Shara's larger frame. However, Shara has pushed back hard against that narrative. He explained that while fighters often gain weight between bouts, recent footage showed Arman weighing just 173.5 pounds, not long after UFC Qatar. Based on that, critics argued Arman would have needed to gain more than 12 additional pounds to truly be heavier than Shara. According to Shara, that assumption is wrong. After the bout, which ended in a draw with both men having their hands raised, Shara addressed the controversy directly. Although many observers felt Arman had done enough to win, Shara questioned that conclusion and focused instead on the weight discussion. He claimed there was no major disparity at all, even stating that Arman was slightly heavier at the official weigh-ins. On the broadcast, both fighters were listed at 84.5 kilograms, just over 186 pounds, a figure that raised eyebrows given their usual divisions. Speaking in an interview, Shara said he weighed in at 84.2 kilograms, while Arman came in at 84.3, meaning Arman outweighed him by 100 grams. Shara added that after eating, he gained around 3 kilograms, putting him near 87 kilograms, but then sweated out about 1 kilogram before the bout. In his estimation, he was roughly 86 kilograms during competition. That would put the difference at about 2 kilograms at most. Shara emphasized that a 2-kilogram gap is worlds apart from the 20-kilogram myth that kept circulating online. He expressed frustration that fans and commentators continued to repeat the exaggerated figure despite the official numbers. For Shara, the takeaway was simple. The idea of a massive weight advantage was a false narrative, and the bout should be judged on performance, not assumptions about size. Moving on to another news. The MMA world was shaken on New Year's Eve when UFC champion Alex Pereira and flyweight contender Tracy Cortez went public with their relationship, instantly igniting conversation across the sport. The pairing caught fans completely off guard, blending the calm, stoic Brazilian light heavyweight champion with the outspoken Mexican-American contender. While many reacted with surprise, the announcement quickly pulled Brian Ortega back into the spotlight. Cortez is Ortega's former partner, and their split in 2023 was far from quiet. Both sides posted cryptic messages on social media at the time, hinting at betrayal, resentment, and unresolved tension. Once the relationship news dropped, fans flooded timelines with memes claiming Pereira had stolen Ortega's girl, turning a personal situation into a viral moment. For Ortega, the situation cut even deeper because this was not a stranger. He and Pereira were actually on good terms. The two fighters genuinely knew each other and had always shown mutual respect. They shared the UFC 303 card in 2024, where Ortega famously pulled out of his bout with Diego Lopes just minutes before walkouts, while Pereira went on to knock out Jiří Procházka in the second round. During that week, both fighters stayed at the same hotel and crossed paths repeatedly. They bonded easily, both speaking fluent Spanish, Ortega as a Mexican-American, and Pereira from years spent training in multicultural gyms. Publicly, there was never any sign of friction. That made what happened next even more striking. Just hours after the relationship became public, Ortega posted an Instagram story that he deleted minutes later. The message read, "Crazy how loyalty disappears when feelings get tested. We'll meet someday." The final line was widely interpreted as a threat, and it immediately set the MMA community buzzing. Suddenly, what seemed like celebrity gossip carried an edge of real tension. Inside the cage, Ortega has been dealing with his own crossroads. He is coming off a tough loss to Aljamain Sterling, a fight that fueled criticism and ultimately pushed Ortega to announce a move up to lightweight. He is now scheduled to rematch Renato Moicano, a fighter he has already finished once before. After that bout, Sterling addressed the backlash surrounding his win, defending Ortega's toughness and resume. He pointed out that very few fighters have ever finished Ortega, noting his durability, patience, and dangerous guillotine threats. Sterling argued that beating a credible, battle-tested contender like Ortega mattered more than highlight knockouts over lesser-known opponents. With personal drama swirling, career questions mounting, and eyes locked on his next move, Ortega finds himself back at the center of the MMA conversation, where emotions, history, and unfinished business collide. Moving on to another news. Michael Chandler has all but confirmed that his long-awaited showdown with Conor is finally coming together, with June now looking like the most likely target for one of the most talked-about fights in UFC history. Chandler revealed that the bout is being lined up for the historic White House event, a card tied to America's 250th anniversary celebrations that is already being billed as one of the most ambitious spectacles the sport has ever attempted. For months, Conor has been openly teasing his return after nearly 5 years away from competition, repeatedly pointing to June and the White House South Lawn as the stage for his comeback. That return has almost always been linked to Chandler, the man he coached against on The Ultimate Fighter back in 2023, a pairing that generated massive hype and constant headlines. Their original booking for UFC 303 in 2024 collapsed due to injuries and delays, leaving fans frustrated and the rivalry unfinished. Despite coming off a rough stretch, Chandler remains one of the most explosive and entertaining lightweights in the division, known for his all-action style and willingness to take risks. During a live appearance on national television on the CBS New Year's Eve show, Chandler addressed the rumors head-on and strongly hinted that Conor is indeed next. He spoke about how big 2026 is shaping up to be for the UFC, especially with the promotion's new era on Paramount Plus, bringing every event under one subscription. Chandler carefully danced around an official announcement, but made his intentions crystal clear, suggesting that he plans to deliver a red, white, and blue beatdown on Conor right on the South Lawn of the White House sometime this summer. The clip quickly went viral, with fans reacting to the idea of such an iconic fight taking place on one of the most symbolic locations imaginable. The storyline feels inevitable, a saga years in the making that now appears ready to reach its conclusion. Conor's name, star power, and history collide perfectly with Chandler's aggression, patriotism, and relentless confidence. According to Chandler, everything is lining up, from timing to platform to global attention. While official contracts may still be pending, the message was unmistakable. This fight is no longer a fantasy or a tease. It is being positioned as a centerpiece moment for the UFC's future that's in blending sport, spectacle, and history into one massive summer event that could redefine what a fight card looks like on the world stage. Moving on to another news. The 205-pound champion, Alex Pereira, wasted no time responding to the noise from critics who have questioned his focus and commitment after chatter spread online suggesting his recent time off, acting appearances, and relaxed vacation moments were signs that the 38-year-old might be slowing down. Pereira answered in the most direct way possible. On New Year's Day, he released raw training footage straight from the gym, sending a clear message that he is still locked in and taking 0 days off. The clip shows Pereira imposing his will on a training partner, controlling the space, tossing him around the mat, and dominating exchanges with the same cold intensity fans have come to expect. The footage instantly reminded everyone why he is considered one of the most intimidating fighters in the sport. Reactions flooded in almost immediately. Many fans praised the champion for grinding on a holiday, while most people were still recovering from celebrations, calling it a true display of elite dedication. Others pushed back, arguing that the footage felt like unnecessary mockery, claiming Pereira should not be using weaker or less experienced partners just to make a point. Regardless of opinion, the response felt unmistakably on brand. Unapologetic, confident, and focused, Pereira once again showed he does not care how the message is received as long as it is heard. While the training clip shut down doubts about his work ethic, it also reignited discussion about what comes next. Pereira has been clear about his ambitions, stating that he wants a permanent move to heavyweight and is chasing a legacy-defining super fight with John Jones. However, With Jones's timeline still uncertain and Tom Aspinall sidelined long-term due to serious eye injuries, the heavyweight picture remains complicated. Because of that uncertainty, analysts and fans are buzzing about a more realistic and equally exciting option. Pereira moving up to challenge for the full heavyweight title or potentially an interim belt against Ciryl Gane to keep the division active during Aspinall's absence. Stylistically, the matchup is pure electricity. On one side stands Pereira, one of the most dangerous strikers in MMA history, armed with brutal leg kicks that dismantle opponents, a thunderous left hook, and a sharp, disciplined jab. He fights tall and patient, controlling range before detonating fight-ending shots. Across from him would be Gane, widely regarded as the smoothest and most technical kickboxer the heavyweight division has ever seen. His footwork is elite, his combinations flow effortlessly, and his distance management is among the best in the sport. It would be a high-level striking chess match, built on precision, timing, and violence. For now, Pereira's message is simple. Doubts mean nothing. Training never stops. And his next chapter is already being written in the gym. Moving on to another news. The UFC is officially entering a game-changing era with a massive 7-year, $7.7 billion deal on Paramount that brings every numbered event, every fight night, and every main card bout under one subscription, effectively ending the traditional pay-per-view model and reshaping how fans consume the sport. No more extra buys, no last-minute purchases, just non-stop fights from start to finish as the promotion pushes into a bold new chapter. Right on cue, one of the division's most polarizing contenders is already making noise and calling for the biggest possible fight to headline this shift. Irish standout Ian Garry, fresh off dominant wins over Carlos Prates and Belal Muhammad, has reignited his push for a welterweight title shot against pound-for-pound king Islam Makhachev. After suffering a tough loss to Shavkat Rakhmonov, Garry believes his recent performances prove he is next in line. In a brand new interview, he explains why this matchup is not just the most deserving fight available, but the biggest bout the welterweight division can offer right now. He lays out his road to the top, describing years of pressure, criticism, and relentless expectations that followed him at every step. According to Garry, his confidence, personality, and evolving skill set make him the perfect dance partner for a champion like Makhachev, whose dominance and calm menace have defined the division. He argues that styles alone would guarantee drama, with his movement, striking, and bravado colliding with Islam's suffocating control, pace, and championship experience. Beyond the tactics, Garry points to the larger narrative driving interest. This is about legacy, lineage, and a rivalry that echoes through UFC history. Ireland versus Dagestan first captured the world's attention with Conor and Khabib, and now the next generation stands ready to carry it forward. In Garry's view, Islam versus Machado, Garry is not hype, it is destiny meeting opportunity on the sport's biggest stage. He insists he has taken the hardest road, beaten elite names, and grown stronger with every test. With a new broadcast era underway and the spotlight burning brighter than ever, Garry is planting his flag and declaring, "This is the fight that defines the future of the welterweight division." His message is clear and unwavering. He believes he belongs at the top, that his moment has arrived, and that this clash represents the next chapter in UFC storytelling, where confidence, culture, and competition collide under the brightest lights, ushering in a new standard for championship-level spectacle.